So before we get into your brow work, Sophie, I want to. So you did your very first eyeliner yesterday.
Yes.
You did. Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So before we get into that, because I've talked about it before in here, like a lot, where I notice this whole generation of artists. There's a lot of artists out there, you included, doing beautiful eyebrows. Yet most of you, a lot of you, you're just staying with brows. You're not moving into eyeliner. So why in the 3 years had you not moved into eyeliner yet? I'm just curious.
Like, to be honest, it was like the fear of working on the eye.
Yeah, being around the eyeball.
Yeah, being around the eyeball. That's one of the things why, like, I wanted to learn, but at the same time, I was scared because I was like, oh my God, working like near the eyeball, that sounds like too intense. I don't know if I would be able to take it. That's what I used to think, right? After yesterday now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, got it. Okay, I see how this can be done.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so the way I like you and Ren both yesterday kind of shared a model.
Yeah.
And it was Kat's sister.
Yeah.
Right. No pressure, but she was good.
Yeah.
She was a good model, but she was a little bit of a challenging model because she was a little twitchy, a little movie, right? A little blinky, a lot of movement. She had a lot of movement, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't really affect me or like rattle me at this point. You know, I've done over 5,000 eyeliners, but for you and Ren, it probably really, really rattled you and like scared you. Like every time she blinked, twitched, moved, tried to squint, like did it freak you out?
Yeah, like absolutely. I was like, oh Lord, please don't let me like poke her eye. But I was so happy I had that experience with you, like there watching, because I was like, okay, Taryn is here, so she's not gonna let me like, like fail or something.
Yeah, and I've never really heard of anybody poking an eye during an eyeliner procedure. It may have happened. I don't know. I've never seen a post about it. It's never made the headlines. I've never heard of it. So, so eyeliner, is there's a lot to learn with eyeliner. There's a lot going on at one time. There's a lot going on with brows too. There's a lot we have to learn with brows and be, aware of while we're working on a brow. But I think with eyeliner, it's more layered and more complex because you are around the eyeball, right? You have to be around the eyeball. And I think there's more movement that we have to control. Yes. Right? Like a brow model can especially if you're having conversation with them.
Yeah.
Like they can raise their eyebrows. Right.
Yeah, but that's easy. You're just like, oh, can you relax your brows, and that's it.
Yeah. Like, or I say, don't talk. Yeah. If we're talking, I like conversation with my clients. I have music going, and and I'll have conversation with my clients every now and then. I'll have a client like last week. She was kind of like humming along to the song, but if their eyebrows start bopping up and down, I gotta say, okay, don't chatter. Every time you talk, you're bouncing your eyebrows up and down. But with eyeliner, it's more than that. It's they want to squint because there's a needle close to their eye. Whenever there's anything around our eyeball, we tend to want to protect. It's human nature, right? Sometimes I don't even think they even know they're doing it.
It's like a reflex, right?
It's just like a natural reflex, right, to protect their eyeball. So they want to squint. They want to blink. They want to pull away. They're twitchy. Their eyeball rolls around. You can see their eyeball rolling around underneath the eyelid, right? So, and we have to control all that, because you can't be tattooing on an eye when there's movement.
Yeah, that's something I realized yesterday. Like you as an artist have to be the one in control, like always, right?
Right.
But like with eyeliner, like literally in control of like the movement. Of their eye.
Yeah.
So, and it might sound maybe easy, but once you're there, you see that there's like a specific technique, right?
Yes.
That you were teaching us of how you can achieve that. So you can do your work and you don't have to worry if they're like trying to move or blink or,
Yeah. You have to always be conscious where the pupil of the eye is. Make sure that's never near your needle. You got to make sure the eye is moist. It doesn't get too dried out. There's a lot. But it was really fun for me teaching you and Ren and seeing you and Ren on your very first eyeliner. What was your big takeaway yesterday? And you and Ren did pretty good. You did good.
Thank
For
you.
a first eyeliner, you did exactly how I expected you to do. And there's only so much you can do to prepare, right? I had you watch an eyeliner video I filmed. I had you guys on, you and Ren met up. I had you on latex. We did some stretching techniques. You watched some eyeliner procedures. How much more preparing can you do except jump in there and get on an eyeliner, a real eyeliner, right? So what was your big takeaway yesterday, Sophie?
I think my big takeaway was how methodic it is, like in the sense that you see that it is like a small portion of skin that you're gonna be tattooing, but there is like a method, like, well, your method of like implanting the ink, right? Because it looks like, oh, it's just a line, so probably just like go over the line and that's it. But no, there's like, you know, you have the 3 lines and how you're gonna be packing, like, you know, with the movements, and you have to advance, like, you know, you go forward with like each section and everything. So like the whole method, like methodology, I saw it in the video, right? But it's so different to see it in the video than you actually doing it,
than you having to execute it.
Exactly.
Do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's the exact opposite of the way you in particularly work and Ren works, because you both are young and doing. First, let me say, I don't even think I said this yet, but, you know, the reason you're even here as a Girlz Inc. artist is because your brow work is absolutely fucking beautiful. You do beautiful, beautiful brows. Absolutely beautiful. As Ren, you know, but both of you, look at both of your brow work. It's just so stunning. It's just stunning. And so you guys are so used to using smaller needles, right? And taking 3 out, taking your time and layering. I think you're used to lighter saturation, and with the type of brows that you and Ren do on every single client, you're going for that lighter saturation, powdery, airy, soft, natural. So you work a certain way. But on eyeliner, 80% of your eyeliners they don't want airy, soft, light saturation. They want solid, high saturation, and black. That's what they want, right? So it's the complete opposite of your eyebrow philosophy and technique. So you had to like completely forget everything you learned and knew about eyebrows and adopt this whole new philosophy. Is like, okay, I'm going for solid, high saturation, no airy spots, nothing powdery, just solid black, because that's what Jackie wants, right? And was it hard? Is it hard to get out of the I'm doing soft, natural, powdery?
Yeah, like I think mostly like with your movements, right? Like you can consciously say like, okay, it's gonna be different. It's not like powder brows, but then your hand is like doesn't want to do something different that, you know, when you're doing powder brows. So it's like, no, like you have to really get in there, right?
So like, you caught your hand wanting to do the movements you're used to doing with your brow work.
Exactly.
So with your brow work, are you mostly doing like whip shading and pendulum movements?
Yeah, that's mostly in like kind of like circling, but it's
like more ovals. Yeah. I'm more ovals too. I say circles, but when I really look at my circles, it's probably more of an oval. Yeah. But I've just always called it circles. But
I do it different than how you do it.
You do it different than how I do it. Yeah. So yeah, it is. It's a whole new way of tattooing. And you know, when you're going for that soft, airy, powdery look, I think you girls do have like a certain method or routine or way that you move, you know, like I do on my brow work. But when it comes to eyeliner, to get super saturated, even saturation, and have it heal black, you have to be very, very methodical and follow a very particular pattern, right? And it's and you don't really change things up. You're just going for that solid, high saturated heal, because that's what they want. Yeah,
that bold eyeliner.
Yeah, I know. So I think and your stretch was off. Like, you were struggling with your stretch. I think both you and Ren were, fidgeting with your fingers and trying to find the right stretch, because it's really different stretching for an eye than it is an eyebrow. Did you think it was harder stretching for an eye?
Yeah, way harder. Yeah. It's just like so many points that you have to be thinking about when you're stretching the eye,
Yes.
And I think it was like way harder. And at the same time, it's like you don't want to hurt. Like, it is weird doing it on the eye, on a person's like eye,
Yeah.
You have to let yourself like get loose and be like, okay, I'm gonna be working on these eyelids, so I can be like scared of like putting too much pressure or something,
Yeah,
like,
that's what you were afraid to do yesterday, is apply the pressure with your grip, with your stretch. Like, you had like a like a lighter, light, loving, caring little touch, and I'm like, no,
like, you can do that with eyeliner. Take control.
But Jackie was really good as a model, because she had a lot of input throughout. And so she would feel me stretch, and which I get in there, I got the death grip on them, right? And I don't worry about hurting them. If I hurt them, or something's uncomfortable, they're going to let you know. That's just my philosophy. So I don't worry about it unless they say something. My whole job is to get in there and stretch the eye, control the eye from blinking, and get the eyeliner in and done as quickly and efficiently as possible. Because I think 3 hours working on an eyelid, that's overworking an eye. We don't really have that time allowance on an eyelid the way we do an eyebrow. Clients aren't going to let you work 3 hours on an eyelid. I mean, they don't like it. Let's just be honest. Like, eyeliner is more uncomfortable, than an eyebrow. But Jackie would, when I would, get off and you would get on, Jackie would say, "You're too soft. You're too soft. You gotta be stronger. You gotta press and really get me stronger." And her feedback was even, it hurts less with tearing because of the stretch.
Yeah.
Right. And that's true. That's just it's just really true. The better our stretch, the less discomfort for the client. Yeah, the
less trauma to the skin. But you know, when she said that, I was like, okay, that's true. Like, so by stretching and really like pulling the skin, then I'm not hurting her that much. So
did you feel like by the end of the eyeliner, you're finally starting to like get it a little bit? Now it's over.
That happened to me.
It sucks, right? It's like you feel like you're finally getting it a little bit, and the eyeliner's over. You're like, oh man,
can I do another one?
I want to do another one. But that's what I wanted you and Ren to feel. It's like, I want another one right now, right? Because that's how I felt about eyeliner. Everything was like, after doing my first one, I felt like I didn't do it as well as I wanted to. I wish I had done that, and I wanted another chance. I want to do one right away, and I couldn't wait till my next one.
Because how you said, everything starts like clicking, right? So you're like, oh, now I know how to do it better. So you want to like do it right away. But
I think the first, would you agree? I think like the first, maybe half of the procedure, it's really just getting over your nerves, getting over being scared, right? I think it takes a minute for you girls to realize, okay, I'm not going to poke her eye. I'm not going to hurt her. Right. So, because I think the first part of the procedure, that's like the anxiety of, oh my God, I got a needle, super close to the eyeball. Like, what the hell am I doing?
And that's true. That was like the first portion of like yesterday when we were doing the eyeliner. It was like, oh my God. But then, you start feeling like more comfortable and kind of like the flow of what it's, what's going on with like the procedure and everything. So.
It's funny, but you're right, because it's such a you mentioned it's such a small space, and it is. It's about maybe an inch long, right? And it's maybe not even a quarter-inch thick. And it's taken some people, 2-3 hours to do that.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if you do crazy, right? Yeah. And on the bottoms, it's even smaller. We're doing, more thin, smaller, shorter lines on the bottom, and it can take someone, an hour or two just to do a bottom eyeliner. It's just, you're talking just a skinny little short line. It's like, yeah. But I think, when artists are taking that long to do it, I just think maybe they haven't been taught some of the tips and tricks of, getting done, quicker. Yeah. So
that's what I was talking about, like the methodology. That's like how to do it.
Yeah.
That's like my big takeaway from yesterday, because it's a game changer, right?
Yes.
To know exactly how to like do it.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference from like taking you like an hour or like 3 hours and having healed results with a lot of pigment or healed results with not enough pigment.
Right. Yeah, 100%. We use bigger needles. We use 5 shaders, on the eyeliner, which is better if you're going for high saturation. And I'm somebody that I don't really like touch-up work, and clients don't either. I mean, clients, when they leave an eyeliner procedure, don't you think they're probably...
I don't want to do it in a long time.
I don't want... Yeah, I mean, they're praying to Jesus, like it all heals in and they don't have to do a touch-up. Yeah. Clients don't want to keep coming back, and that's the truth, and but sometimes, artists out there doing, lots of touch-ups just to get the saturation a client wants. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. On some clients, yes, because it's due to the skin. The skin's not going to cooperate, and you're going to end up doing, some touch-up or a second whole session just to get, the saturation you want. But on a lot of skin types, there really shouldn't be any touch-up work or much at all in any way. If you learn, certain things. Yeah. So you guys got another one next week.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
So you didn't sleep, did you? And you went to bed last night thinking about your eyeliner.
Yeah. I was going through like...
Were you beating yourself up, or were you
I think at this point, after 3 years of like being in the PMU world, I've learned not to beat up myself, right? Now I know that it is part of the process of learning, like anything in life, right? Yeah. It's like you're not going to be 100% good or perfect the first time you do anything in life, like nothing.
Yeah.
That's not how life or humans work.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's just like, I like to think like, well, what can I do to make it better next time? Why do I have to practice more? Like, do I still have questions that I want to ask? Like tearing, right? Like all those things.
Right.
So like next time is better.
Yeah. When the eyeliner was done and we sat around out back, I mean, you identified a couple of things that you needed to practice on. So that's good. I mean, that's what a first procedure. That's what's supposed to happen on a first procedure, right? You're supposed to get through it with your mentor, help and be proud of yourself and not beat yourself up and have insight. Like, and you were, and so was Ren. You both were very insightful, and you knew immediately, okay, this is what I struggle with. This is what I need to practice with all week for my second eyeliner, which is next week. You know what you need to get on that latex with and practice with and whatnot, and you're going to be better prepared, if nothing at all, the first procedure better prepares you. It gets you it gets you through the anxiety and the scared, like, oh my God, I'm scared to death, I'm going to poke an eye. It gets you through that, because the second eyeliner, you're not going to be afraid you're going to poke their eyeball out.
No.
So that's past you.
Yeah.
And it better prepares you for what it is, what's coming, right? So you'll feel more comfortable. You may not do much better of a job on your second one, just to be honest. But you're gonna feel more comfortable. You're gonna feel more relaxed, right? You're gonna be like more in the moment, and and I think you're gonna enjoy it, be less afraid. And when you can go into a procedure like that, then you're going to absorb more. You're going to be able to execute better. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's all exciting. Yeah. You and Ren are on your way to, beautiful eyeliner work. I believe in you and Ren. I have no doubt you and Ren are going to be really great eyeliner artists like Amy. I mean, Amy, you know, I think it was by her first eyeliner. I was like, oh my God. And I'm so mean. I was like, I didn't expect you to do that well. She probably did better than any other artist I've ever trained on eyeliner on her first. No, I'm not kidding. I brag about that all the time, but she just took to eyeliner on that very first one. And it took her longer with brows.
Okay.
It took her longer to kind of with brows. And there's a couple things that she's still trying to figure out with brows. You know, she does a really good brow. Yeah. But yeah, that eyeliner, it's like, I don't know. It was like
her thing right away. Thing. Yeah.
She sat down and, you know, I mean, a couple of passes. She's like, I'm not even scared no more. She was just like, yeah, I'm going to get this. I'm getting this on. And yes. And she's been doing eyeliners ever since, and she's really good at them. So it's really interesting what we end up struggling with, you know, as artists. Like, you know, mine was lips. That was my big,
really?
Oh my God. Yeah. It took me 6 years to get good at lips. Yeah. 6 years. So I was good at brows and eyeliner first. Then my eyeliner work probably passed my brow work. I ended up better at eyeliner than brows. Then my brow work caught up, and I was really good at brows and eyeliner and areolas and tattooing. And lips, no, I really struggled. Really super struggled. Yeah. About 6 years. So
6 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I got really good at them, you know? So it's just figuring out why are you struggling? You know, what is it that you're doing that's making lips or whatever the procedure is a struggle? What the fuck is it? You know?
And 6 years sound like a long time, but in PMU like time frame, yeah, it's like normal, right?
It's
to
so
be like
normal.
Really good at something.
Yeah, it's so normal. It's so normal. And some people, you know, may never get to where they want to be with lips, brows, or you know, a certain procedure. Maybe it's just not for them. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so you know, we're all on our own unique path, and you know,
for sure,
yeah, for sure. But I'm super stoked. And then after eyeliner, lips, we're getting you in the run on lips. So
I'm so excited for lips.
You are? Yeah. You're more excited for lips?
But it's just like lips when I look at all the inks and the colors and everything. Yeah. I love that there are so many colors that you can choose from.
The bright reds and pinks. It's not around an eyeball. You know, but lips. I think eyeliner's harder. I do. Other, you know, there might be other artists that disagree, because we all have, you know, like I said, you know, we all have our struggles and what came easier, what came harder for us. But I think eyeliner's harder. I think, you know, I do a lot of classes, and teaching lips and eyeliner, I think students struggle with eyeliner more than lips. So you might take the lips a little bit quicker, a little bit easier than you did eyeliner, but there are still aspects of the lip procedure that can make a lip challenging, you know, just like every single thing we do. I mean, a beauty mark, it's a goddamn little dot, right? It's a little dot, but that can be challenging if you weren't taught how to do it. You don't want it to look like a dot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can do a dot, or you can do like a beautiful beauty mark.
A beautiful beauty mark with soft edges, like supernatural, like, or it can look like this dot, like, you know, that you want to rub up, like shouldn't be there. So it's like, no matter how small the procedure or how, you know, simplistic it seems to be, everything we do as cosmetic tattoo artists has its layer of complexity and challenges.
You can make it as great as you want it.
And exactly. So that's what I love about PMU. We're always being challenged. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I wish things would just come a little
easier.
just come on, give me a break. You know, can't this just one thing be easy? It's like, oh my gosh. But that's not the craft we chose, man. You know, we chose a really, you know, difficult, you know, craft that just has so many layers to it. But I wouldn't be doing anything else.